Hi YouTubers, this is another video from me here, Evelyn. Today I'm going to be reviewing episode 5 and 6 of the Korean thriller series A Shot for Killer starring Lee Dong-wook and Kim Hye-jun. Now if you don't know what the show is, I recommend you watching episode 1 and 2 of the review. Basic gist, the uncle is a mercenary, decides to live a normal life with his niece because the niece's parents died. There's a big huge thing. Episode 5 and 6 finally reveals what happened to the uncle of Jung Ji-man. Now we know Jung Ji-man, apparently he took his own life, that's what the police said, but in episode 5 we found out. Now when I did episode 1 into the review, I know the boy's name of Bae Jung-min. I knew he was a red herring, so obvious, a person that came after so many years to go back into the life of Jung Ji-man and Jung Ji-an. We found out in episode 5 that Bae Jung-min is a wannabe hacker, not so good if he's able to get himself spotted. He found out about Jung Ji-man's business of mother helper, in which we know that Jung Ji-man is selling weapons to mercenaries, and he ends up hacking into the site, which leads to the reveal of the antagonist called Bae. Now on episode 6 we find out that Jung Ji-man was, after serving the military, a part of a mercenary group in which we see that Passion, the also Korean actor of Kim Min, that pretending to be from Thailand, that this guy was there, the twin assassins were there, and we end up finding out about Song Min-hyu's backstory, the one that talked to Jung Ji-an saying, oh, I'm your uncle's Mandarin teacher, but we find out that she's Jung Ji-man's ally. I'll get into her origin story in a bit. We find out that Bae Jung-min, he ends up alerting Bae, the antagonist from the mercenary group, that he knows where Jung Ji-man's living, because Bae, in part of the mercenary group that Ji-man was part of, he a full-on psycho. Now I've never seen, if we could take Michael Myers, Ted Bundy and Jeffrey Dahmer into one as a trained military assassin, that's Bae's character. Yeah, Bae. What we have in here is weird thing called Bae of Jo Han-sun, the actor. Now within the group, they had some guy that was heading the group. I don't know the guy's name. He basically told Jung Ji-man that you're the only guy can keep Bae in check, because during these hired missions, Bae basically was killing a load of civilians as a psycho, and Jung Ji-man, even though he's a mercenary, and he has his limits, he has his moral limits. I really wish we could have had up to episode 10, because there's so much of Jung Ji-man's backstory as the reason why he decided to disappear for 8 years. Why did he stay in the military? Why didn't he choose to pursue a quote-unquote ordinary life? And of course he's ultimately responsible for Jung Ji-an's parents dying, because he never returned back to the family. But then again, we see in episode 6 that Jung Ji-man had enough. They had a mission I think in China to take down a drug cartel, but he told the guy that was looking after the group, or being the boss, that you promised me that Bae wouldn't be in any more further issues, because Jung Ji-man had that chance to tell the court in Malaysia, which is so weird. In Malaysia, talking to Jung Ji-man in English. I don't know, you'd think that the whole proceedings would have been in the language of Malaysian or whatever. Well anyway, that's besides the point. But he decides not to, because Bae and the other guy that's a sniper of Lee Sung-so, the character name, they were all dodgy, and the twins that are there meant to be as an assassins were all dodgy, and they ended up being complicit in killing this guy and killing another mercenary that wasn't that evil per se, and Jung Ji-man comes after the fact, so he didn't see Bae and all the other guys killing people, so he's only saying what he saw. He saw things in the room and they were all dead, so he's there leaving, regretting that mission. So in China, they ended up saving this guy that I don't know what's his connection, and we end up finding out that Song Min-hye, the one with the short bob haircut and the fringe, we understand that she's originally Chinese, and Jung Ji-man takes sympathy with her and he saves her, but not before having a duel to the battle on the staircases with Bae, in which now Lee Dong-wook, for God's sake, he's a great actor. This could be, maybe people might not like what I say, but I knew that Lee Dong-wook suffered a shoulder injury, but he really tried his best with the fight team with Bae. But then again, you always see in horror movies that the psychopath, the killer, they have some extraordinary strength, almost supernatural. And Lee Dong-wook tries his best against Bell in a knife battle, but Bell ends up stabbing Lee Dong-wook in the leg, but not before being saved by Seo Min-hoo, in which he shoots Bell right in the eye. Now this bit they have to explain to me, how did the big villain of this short series ended up surviving with a bullet to the brain, and Lee Dong-wook's character ends up stabbing him in the chest many times and the knife going into his chest? How did he survive? On top of that there was some C4 about to explode. Bell ends up surviving that and ends up recruiting back all the team members. And we come back to this point. Now there's another thing. Jung Ji-man, I think he's alive. For a man that's so calculated about everything, he kind of knew that this young hacker wannabe and pretend psycho, let's say, of Bae Jong-min, that he was the one doing the hacking, and so conveniently that Jung Ji-man puts an advertisement that he needs help from somebody. We can see throughout episode 5 that Jung Ji-man knows what's going on, and he ends up trapping the young boy, not before the young boy playing a fake artificial intelligence voice recording of Ji-an saying for her uncle to help her. So Jung Ji-man says, okay, let my niece go, I'll do what you want. So he ends up untying the boy, well, he's hanging from the ceiling, he ends up calling passion, saying that you don't need to pay me for that favor, while apparently killing himself by stabbing himself in the neck. Now, you can fake your death. If you're a mercenary, for Christ's sake, you can fake your death. Well, the young girl, Ji-an, if this turns out to be true, if I was her, I would be angry. Like, how could you lie to me? And on the top of that, we have the last 2 episodes coming out on Wednesday. I wonder what's gonna be the next steps for this young girl and Lee Dong-wook's character, because Lee Dong-wook's character, he's great in the flashbacks. I just wish we could have more of his backstory and what's going to be going, and how would the whole series conclude, because there's such a great dynamic between the uncle and the niece. But then again, if Jung Ji-man, he legitimately thought that his arch nemesis was dead, so he went back. But the background story, what happened that night when Jung Ji-an's parents died, I think that will be revealed in episode 7 and 8. Now this is a very short video, well, relatively short video. If you made it to the end, a big thank you. I really appreciate we can hit the subscribe button, keep the channel growing, and to all the current subscribers, big thank you for still watching these videos. You let me know what you think about the series so far, and if you wished it would have maybe had up to episode 10 or 12. So as I leave you always, stay safe, bye.